Hi, everybody. Ian Bremmer here, and the Supreme Court has struck down President Trump's ability to use IEPA, the National Emergency Clause, to level tariffs against countries all over the world. This should have been obvious to everyone from day one. The president does not have the right to impose tariffs, saying it's a national emergency when it obviously isn't. Whether it's about fentanyl coming into the U.S. from Canada somehow being linked to putting tariffs on lumber, to the Brazilian Supreme Court putting a 27-year court case against the former president Bolsonaro, and America putting 50% tariffs on in return. Every tariff level around the world was essentially argued by the president as a national emergency, giving him the authority, not Congress, which is where it sits legally, to impose tariffs against countries and use that as a lever to get the outcomes that he wants. Now, what this means is that immediately the effective U.S. tariff rate goes from just under 15% to 7.5%. It's not going to last very long because the White House has plenty of other mechanisms that they can use to impose tariffs, which is what they should have done to begin with, specifically Section 122. You'll hear a lot about that in the coming days of the Trade Act that's from 1974, and that allows 15% tariffs from the president for a period of 150 days. And then after that, they'll lean on other sections to increase tariffs on other countries. And so over time, there will be beneficiaries. There'll be countries that see lower tariffs because of what the Supreme Court has just ruled, particularly China, Canada, Mexico, and Brazil, where the difference between the present rate and the 15% ultimate tariff is the largest. And that does mean that less money is coming in to the U.S. government. That means that American consumers will be paying lower amounts because this has all basically been a tax on American consumers that's flowing through to the U.S. budget. It also means less American leverage against these countries to get them to a deal, which is problematic as Trump goes to Beijing in April and wants to get to a better place with the Chinese, while his ability to impose high-level tariffs has just been significantly undermined by the court. A few things that this should mean to everyone. First is that the court is an effective, independent check on the executive. Republicans in Congress are not. Impeachment is not. But the court system is. And we've seen that in the past months in throwing out the legal cases, for example, that Trump was trying to engage with investigations politicized against James Comey, against Letitia James. And then the federal court system says, no, that's clearly illegal. You're not going to go ahead. And Trump has no mechanism then to proceed. So we've seen a number of cases where the court systems have actually ruled against Trump. We've also seen increasing numbers of cases where Republicans in the House and Senate are publicly opposing him in ways that a few months ago we did not. We've seen that in response to the use of ICE in Minneapolis. We've seen it in response to the efforts by Trump to seize Greenland from Denmark. In both of these cases, significant climb downs from the president as it became clear that what he was doing was not popular and was leading to that backlash. We've seen the Republican heads of the Senate and the House both immediately oppose Trump when he said that he wanted to nationalize or federalize upcoming elections because they were rigged. And now we see the Supreme Court ruling against him on IEPA. It's a major ruling that completely undermines what Trump had argued he had the legal authority to do. It should have been clear from day one that Trump did not have this capacity. And the reason he decided to go with it and not listen to Besant and others, economic advisors around him, Jameson Greer, the U.S. trade rep, that were telling him that this is a vulnerability, is because he wanted it done his way, simply and immediately. And anything else was going to be more complicated and take longer to implement and not be as clean. And so he's like, no, just do it now. And of course, when you do it his way and he doesn't have the policy competence and he's extremely impatient, it looks really great for the immediate headline, and then it doesn't work. And that level of refusal to take other people's advice, even though he has significant expertise around him on economic policy, on foreign policy, but he thinks that he's right on everything and he's frequently not willing to listen, that is getting him in trouble. And it's getting him in trouble here on the tariffs, and that had been, in the first year of Trump's second term, the most significant tool that he was using against other countries around the world to get them to the table and to change the nature of their bilateral relations with the United States in America's favor. Now we see those tools have been undermined, and it's all basically Trump's fault. This was easily predictable. It was easily avoidable. We wrote about all this in Top Risk back in January. You can go back and have a look. But what it ultimately means is a step back, a climb down, and another fairly significant and embarrassing loss that did not need to happen for this administration. That's it for me. Talk to you all real soon.